Christopher Poling. He's got some issues with his hands, and but one of the things he was wanting to do was to get into doing some kilt sewing as a therapeutic hobby / activity. The problem is he's trying to figure out what fabrics he should use for trying out sewing a kilt for the first time. You know, tartan fabric is harder to come by in his area, and it can be expensive to get actual tartan. So he's wondering, you know, what can he go to a fabric store to get that would give him a reasonable experience when he's teaching himself how to sew a kilt and doing the handwork and stuff.
Right. The wool cloth used in making a kilt is very, very tightly woven. The same kind of thing with the polyester viscose fabric that we have, the PV fabric that we use here in the shop. It's very, very tightly woven. When you move into something like acrylic, where it's a little bit more of a burlap sack kind of feel to it, it's looser woven, it's a little bit more difficult to sew because the fabric kind of moves and wiggles more, and when you actually put it on, it can stretch and skew weirdly depending on how it's sewn, how many layers you go through, all that kind of stuff. The wool fabric from Scotland is expensive. It's going to be, you know, $70, $80, $90 a yard kind of price range for wool fabric from the UK. The polyviscose fabric that we sell is going to be roughly 30 to 40 bucks a yard, somewhere in there. I forget exactly what it is. But that is going to be a reasonably priced entry-ish level fabric. If you went to Walmart, I would not get flannel. I would not get, you know, the cheap stuff that is tartanesque, just basically because it's looser woven cloth. It's not going to make a good finished garment. It's not going to teach you how to sew well. If anything, it's going to be more frustrating. The closest thing that I could kind of think of in a lower price point, meaning like 5 to 10 bucks a yard, somewhere in there, would be like a canvas, like a cotton duck type fabric, where it's going to be a very densely woven fabric. It's not going to move a lot as you're trying to sew it. It's going to take a crease. Now, that being said, moving forward to fast forwarding to the finished product, cotton is going to crease a lot worse and, you know, wrinkle a lot worse than wool is going to, or than PV is going to. It is going to shrink, so you're definitely going to want to pre-wash the fabric. You know, cut out your fabric to longer than you think you need, or take the whole bolt of fabric, double width, jam it in your washing machine, wash it on high, hot, and then dry it on high, hot to shrink it as much as you can before you make anything from it. Because worst case scenario is you make yourself a very, very precise 23 3/4 inch kilt for the length, and you wash it and you end up with a 21 inch kilt, and you have a mini kilt. So you definitely, if you're using cotton or something like that, you want to pre-wash the fabric. But a canvas is going to kind of, a densely woven canvas is going to feel similar-ish to wool, or like a comb cotton or brush cotton kind of fabric. You just want to make sure you're getting a reasonable weight to it, not something that's like 5 or 6 ounces, but something that's minimum 8, 10, 12 ounces.
Do you think this is why, like a lot of utility kilt manufacturers will go with a poly cotton, basically, so they have the sizing from the polyester in it? And
no, the reason they do that is more for the wrinkle factor.
Okay.
Because a poly cotton blend is going to wrinkle a lot less than a straight cotton fabric. Okay. There's a lot of, and a cotton duck, the other issue with it is it kind of holds its thing. One of my original utility kilts, I would wash it and, you know, iron it, and if you're sitting down in it, Kelly used to, you know, poke fun of me saying it looks like a tutu when you stand up, because if you sit on it and it wrinkles weirdly and you're in the chair for a while, you're in the car, and you stand up, it kind of holds that shape as you're standing there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So she just busted my chops on that. But she's right. I mean, it stays stiff. And there's, you know, going X marks, there's literally threads and threads and threads about people who have washed utility kilts hundreds of times in fabric softener to try to soften it and get it to not stay so stiff, but to varying degrees of the success.
Yeah.
That is why a lot of companies use a cotton poly blend for
Okay.
like the mocker Utilikilt or things like that.
My original is a poly cotton.
Yeah.
My original,
Yeah,
the oldest one.
because
Yeah.
it drapes a little bit nicer,
Yeah.
and it swings a little bit nicer. Cotton and canvas kind of move
Yeah.
together. It's
Yeah.
stiff.
So I would say, like you said, a cotton duck, maybe a poly cotton. Don't try and think in terms of creating a really rugged garment for these first couple of experiments he's doing. Make sure the fabric is workable.
Yeah,
Not not too soft, not soft, stiff enough, but
there's two schools of thought on it. He specifically pointed out price, which is why I steered him that direction.
Yes.
To try to find something that is going to be a reasonable approximation of what you will eventually work on if you get better and want to make yourself a wool kilt. The other school of thought is nothing is going to feel the same as wool. Nothing is going to Max nodding his head. Nothing is going to like sew the same as wool. So if you start with a lesser quality fabric, you're just going to end up with a lesser quality kilt. So start with good wool cloth and learn on good wool cloth. That way you're not refining your technique as you get better. You're actually starting on the stuff you're going to be sewing professionally for yourself,
that's
whatever.
quite an investment, though.
It is, but it is an investment, and that's why it's, how much money do you have versus how serious are you about it versus,
Yeah. I'd probably split the difference if it were me.
and also how crafty are you? How quickly do you think you're going to pick it up?
Yeah.
And if you're a person who can't screw in a light bulb without screwing it up, then I'd say buy the cheaper cloth and really hone your skills.
Yeah.
Hone your skills before you pick up $75 a yard cloth and cut it.
I knew a guy who made his own kilt for his wedding, and he was an accomplished tailor doing 14th century medieval European garb. And so really complicated, really tightly fitting, coat hardies and stuff like this. And he would he said when he went to go and cut the fabric for the first time to make his kilt, his hands were shaking.
Yeah.
Because he was afraid to screw it up because it's like, $90 a yard tartan, they got from Scotland. He's just like,
Even
okay,
worse
here we
than
go,
that. Even worse than that is the first time you go to rip cloth. Because tartan is woven as twill weave. So you snip about a 2-inch section, you grab either end, and you tear as fast as you can, and it'll tear in a straight line. And the first time, even more than the first time you do that, it's still kind of unnerving a little bit if it's your hard-earned money on the line that you're ripping fabric.
Right,
And
right.
that's why the measure twice, cut once. Yes.
Yeah.